Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about how to mount the 91mm 100% copper Swiss Army knife scales from swissbianco on the Swiss Army knife. Those scales will fit on any 91mm Swiss Army knife. The first side looks like that, and the rear side, the right side, has the cutout, in this case for the corkscrew. That can be for the Phillips as well, that doesn't matter. Because the scales are CNC made, they are 100% straight and correct in the manufacturing process. Because the victorinox Swiss Army knives are stamped and then riveted together, there is on some parts it is not 100% straight or 100% always the same in each model, so it depends. On some of them, as we see on this knife here, it will straight fit on, snap on. On others there is a bit more fitting work needed, like on this side that I'm gonna point out. That is how that is. As we have the differences between the machined scales to the regular plastic ones that we have, we see the plastic ones are flexible. They will snap on those special riveting rings that Victorinox use. By metal or by wood you simply cannot do that, so those scales need to be glued on by using industrial grade 2-part epoxy. In USA I'm gonna use JB Weld with best results. So that is at the factory in Ibach the same way. If they're gonna mount a wooden scale or a stag or whatever else other than plastic, they in one way or another need to glue it on in a different process there. You cannot just simply snap fit them on. So that is the difference between the metal, in this case metal 100% copper, to the plastic. Then as you have your knife, you simply take off the original plastic scales. That is easy to do. I have a video on how to change the plastic scales. You basically, as you have the thing mounted still on, you go in by the slot part there and pry them off. Those plastic parts gonna be trash afterwards, because the part that goes over the rivets gonna break partly off as you pry them off again, so that's just a one-way use design. Then you clean the whole knife in case it's not a brand new one. Then just a bit degreasing is needed. Then you have the correct side and look how well that fit. In this case here, the front side simply gonna snap on. So that now it did snap one side, now the other side. Sometimes I need to reach a bit around the camera. Now we see the item did snap on. We did clearly hear the two snap sounds, and it is on. So there was no fitting required. It's nicely flat on the liner there, the aluminium liner of the knife. So if it is like that, you can always take it off again, simply going through the slot and pry them off carefully and make sure that you don't bend anything there. And then you apply the glue. The glue is applied on the holes only. We have a front hole, a middle hole, and a rear hole here. That is a slot here, not that one here, but the bigger one. So there you put the glue on, and then you clamp the item. First you're gonna glue on only one side, clamp it on with a C-clamp, not too hard, just that it fits. that it is pressed on, let it dry 24 hours, and then you go to the other side. This side here needed more work because the rivets were riveted from this side, so the height of the rivet was not equal on all sides here. It was on some parts longer, so that needed to get a bit Dremel work to take them off. That the length is correct, also that the diameter is correct. Riveting is old-fashioned know-how, pretty much outdated, but if you rivet like I did as a blacksmith for decades, you see that riveting always bend some parts. It's basically on the force that you use, so those heads are never 100% straight. That is how that is. So that needs sometimes a bit fitting, sometimes more, sometimes less. So I did need to Dremel the parts off and then fit the scale that it goes on top of it, that we again can simply press it on, and then we see we have no bigger gaps as we press that on and glue it on, that we have it like this, so it's nice and flat. Again, here we have to glue in the holes, front hole, middle hole, and the end hole over here. So that is also really easy. It's basically there where the rivets, the heads of the rivets are, that you glue that on, then you clamp that also with the C-clamp, let it dry 24 hours, and then voila, you have it. That is how the scales are mounted. You can put in the small parts. Then the channels, you need to be careful that you're not gonna, of course, fill the channels with the glue. That would be not correct. We have the channel opening here, just the holes get glue in it, not the channel or anything anywhere else on the scales. So then you have it. This scales here I took out of the protective bag where they come in originally about 2 weeks ago, so we have a little bit of patina on it already. That is for demonstration. Here we have one that is out for about 3 months, something like that, has a bit more patina, copper leaves. So that is a material that you can get patina in many ways done. That is what makes it so interesting looking. And of course you can clean it off again too, really easy. You just need a metal cleaner, and then you let it soak in a bit and clean it off. Just be careful with the aluminium and the plastic parts. If you have plastic in the Swiss Army knife left, like in this case we have the magnifier, it's a Yeoman model, so there you need to be careful. The screwdriver insert here we can take out, that would not be that much of a deal. So anyways, the mounting of metal scales on the riveted construction is not that much of a deal. If you can't do it yourself, if you don't have a Dremel or glue or whatever, I'm sure you'll find somebody close by that can do that. That is really easy to be done, and then you have a really unique Swiss Army knife. So that much about the swissbianco 91mm 100% copper scales on how to mount them on the Victorinox Swiss Army knife.